So I recently did a comic book review, and some of you asked that I do some more. So I'm looking for some comics, some unique comics that are not mainstream, that look interesting, and I'll do a review now and then. Now I did find one that piqued my interest from Image that came out on July 7th. I picked up this A wraparound. Stay tuned for my review.
Anachronic.
Hey comic book guys and gals, I'm Joe, and welcome to Anachronic Comics. Old Gods looked interesting to me, primarily for two reasons. The first was the premise. The Image Comics website states as follows. For fans of the Old Guard and God Country comes an extra-length first issue of a century-spanning action epic from writer Kyle Higgins, Radiant Black, artist Felipe Watanabe, hope I'm saying it right, The Flash. The Luminary, the Prodigy, the Brute, the Trickster, the Innovator, 5 gods from a realm beyond our own, leaders in the war of immortals. At least they were, before they were trapped, sent to a planet made into a prison, forced into an endless cycle of human death and reincarnation. Christopher is 22. He's got 2 loving parents and a 12-year-old sister. He works at a paint store. He's in therapy, and he's one of the 5. Which means, in order to save everyone he cares about, Christopher will have to reconnect with his past lives and do the unthinkable, become a god again. The premise and relationship story-wise to immortal beings sounds solid. I'm really interested to see it put into a storyline. Now the second reason was some of the preview artwork. Not so much the quality, which I'll be in a better position to comment on once I read the book, but the fact that at least on the face of it, it looks like Abraham Lincoln, Stalin, Queen Elizabeth I, and other historical figures play a part in the story. Maybe some of them are gods? So I love historical fiction and working real people from the past into an imaginative story by an author. I haven't read Radiant Black, but from what I've seen, most readers like it, and apparently Image likes it so much that they're giving the author, Kyle Higgins, another book to write. It all sounds good, so give me a few minutes to read the story, and I'll be back with my review. So I read the comic book. Interestingly, the book is divided into 2 parts. The regular comic book in the front, and a written story, prose if you will, at the back. The prose portion is not written by Higgins, but more on that later. The comic book first sets out the mystery in the form of a prologue or introduction. It appears that an important individual is being pursued by a killer who is overcoming the individual's bodyguards, but it is all not what it seems. The characters, as originally presented, are all not who you believe them to be. The book next presents Chapter 1, entitled As the World Turns, presenting a world not our own, where there are 13 territories in the realm ruled by a king, each territory controlled by an immortal with a dominant quality for which the territory is known. Qualities such as passion, love, inspiration, savagery, and regret. There occasionally were uprisings which were quelled by the immortals until one of the 13, the Luminary, seeing that people were not free, started an uprising of her own. We learn later that 4 others, the Prodigy, the Brute, the Trickster, and the Innovator, joined her in her fight against the king in a war among the immortals. So how did Christopher, who works at a paint store, become one of the 5? Well, it was through a method developed by the Innovator, one of the immortals, to stop the war, which was misused by an adversary, resulting in Christopher and perhaps other immortals losing their memory and being exiled to Earth. Being immortals, they continually relive their lives as different beings, but never realizing who or what they are. So the author is adept at going back and forth between what was occurring in the realm in the past and what is happening today on Earth. The focus on Christopher sets the stage for the storyline. Which of the immortals is he? You do find out on the last page. And what part does he play in the story? So Higgins clearly knows how to write dialogue, and the story here, the dialogue, is important. It quickly makes you care about the characters, which is not easy in a #1 issue of a comic book. The story is a combination of science fiction and fantasy, where you have fantastical gods like the Asgardians or the Greek gods or the Roman gods, and a young man of today, Christopher, whose problems and fears the reader can relate to and root for him to overcome. The artist, Felipe, does a fantastic job moving from the action of the present to the fantastical world of the 13 territories. The immortal gods all look the part, kind of the qualities of their territories that they protect, while Christopher and his family and other mortals of today are, I guess, normal. What I don't like about the art is what looks like an overuse at times of facial lines that only detract from otherwise solid representations of the characters. The multitude of potential storylines and the personal issues set forth by Higgins in this first issue can only mean that, if done right, this can be an amazing story. World building, characters we care about, and the mysteries behind the gods and how they affect everyday people make for great anticipation for future issues. Oh, and the second part, a prose piece entitled Flip of a Coin, was written by Jana Quinn. It focuses on the opening scene in the book, providing some background on the characters and helps to explain some of the story. Maybe this is a technique that the comic book will use in future issues. Ordinary Gods provides adult themes and incredible potential for an epic series. I give it 9 Brunos, missing out on 10 only because of my critique of the artwork. I would highly recommend giving issue 1 a try. Let me know in the comments if you pick up a copy of the comic, and if you agree or disagree with my review. Thanks for watching, and please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Be well, and I'll see you soon.